Good morning, Chris.
Hello, Paul. How are you?
Very, very good. Yeah, and yourself?
No, I'm okay. I'm rather guiltily enjoying lockdown, which is something that I feel I shouldn't be doing, but it's been a lovely change, really. So I've liked that.
Yeah, I have as well. Actually, it's a time to reflect and maybe learn new things, isn't it? Check them out.
Yeah, no, I think we've all had to learn new things, new skills, and so on. Not least, I'm doing the family shopping every Friday or something like that. So working out what the hell coconut milk is and where I should get certain types of frozen foods is a real skill I'm developing.
Is it? It's the modern day hunter-gatherer for the man, caveman.
Slightly
What?
tragic version in my case. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a number of years now. For those people watching that don't know you, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do, that'd be great.
Cool. Yeah, no. So yeah, we've known each other a few years, and you've helped me a lot. I run this company, Southwest Growth Service, who are a management consultancy and provide coaching and training and other services across the Southwest. And I'm one of the founding directors of that. But you also know me because, for two reasons. One, I run something called the 373 Group, which is a business networking group, which does uh, slightly weird and unusual networking events based from my venue, which is here, Devon Business and Education Centre. And that I put together about 3 years ago with my wife, Mary. And it's a co-working space effectively. And it's really lovely place for events and meetings and training, etc. So that's me really, a range of things, uh, jack of all trades, master of none, but I love it.
Wonderful. It's a wonderful space you've got there, and yeah, it's been nice to meet different people from the 373 group over the years. And it's like, is it 3 years since it's been built? That's crazy.
But yeah, the building's been up here for 3 years, and we've had several thousand people coming here, about 4 or 5 thousand people, amazingly. So that's incredible, and it, even now it's getting used all the time. But obviously, with social distancing being sort of a priority. And also, I've got 4 children. 3 of them are back here, and they're all needing to reuse a room all the time for their work, their school work, or their real work. So that's been quite helpful.
And it's helpful you've got good broadband as well. If they're all back used.
Pretty good. Although I think everyone across the southwest could probably do with an upgrade by 1,000 times. But no, relatively speaking, it's really good here.
Yeah, good to hear. So you mentioned you've enjoyed lockdown, and so what kind of things have you found positives out of this very sad situation? But what have you taken as positives for yourself?
Well, I mean, I think the most important thing is family. It's been nice to be with, as I said, 3 of my 4 children. My fourth child is in the NHS and working in Sheffield, so she's very busy. But it's been lovely to reconnect with the other 3 and my wife, and also we got my mother-in-law living with us, so that's been great. I've really enjoyed having the time and space to think more deeply about issues, do a bit of blogging, and really enjoyed actually having good conversations with coaches and businesses as well. So that's been really, really nice, and doing it for, really addressing some of their, inner fears, which is something that, is palpable for a lot of businesses right at the moment.
I say it's been interesting doing these talks, how it's affected different people in different ways, but it has been that strength of people wanting to help each other, hasn't it? It's been a real positive in our
Yeah,
community.
yeah, it's really been lovely, and it's unexpected consequences, aren't there, Paul, for how it impacts those people who you think would be unaffected by it have been massively affected, and those people you think would be concerned actually, in some cases, have been very sort of phlegmatic about it and not worried too much. So, no, it's been interesting, and but I think we also have to put it in context. Particularly we've just had VE Day,
Yeah.
and most of us in the Southwest, luckily, are, touch wood, inshallah, I'll just touch the floor, which is wood, have not been so affected by COVID, other from the impracticalities and the difficult, logistics and so on. And okay, our businesses have suffered, and some, desperately so. But thankfully, most of us aren't losing lives like they were in the Second World War and things like that. So we do have to have an element of perspective. But no, I don't underrate how it has affected people.
No, you mentioned VE Day, and I was very much the same. It was kind of like, there's been several stages to this of speaking for myself and sure for you, of first of all taking it all in and that initial worry and, oh my, what's going to happen next and this, that, the other. But there has been, say, opportunities to say, well, and lots of businesses have seen that, wow, they've pivoted their business, they've gone to change their offer, and maybe they've not been sure how to put that offer out there, and kind of practicalities. I found some businesses that wanted to do things, and ourselves as well with our magazines. It was like, right, let's put something out that's going to reach all these people that aren't online, and so I'm getting very excited putting this stuff together. We got this issue, and then of course then you're reminded. Then we went into lockdown. And you're like, well, that's practically not possible because people are going to be locked at home. So that was kind of shelved. But it's been great to see how the sort of business has been innovative in terms of maybe if they're a restaurant to go online. And I found it's been really nice to bring back the local economy, and I think it's connected more people on a local level that hopefully will carry on way beyond this.
I agree. I mean, some of the clients that we work with have had to really listen hard to what their clients are telling them and really think very deeply about what they can and can't do. And actually, in a couple of cases, they've pivoted significantly, but actually been able to make an absolutely game-changing move, which will result in a far more resilient and better business going forward. One of ours was very dependent on business to business and has gone business to consumer. Right. Online sales, where previously regarded that as slightly difficult and risky, and suddenly one's view of what risk is suddenly reduces massively, doesn't it? In a situation where you can either have some sales or none at all, and they've done it, and they've done it well, and guess what? They've been very successful, and that's just a joy, and and that's been a lovely thing to see. And I think those businesses that do come out of this will be much more resilient and stable and able also to think about, well, what does the client really want?
Absolutely. And I think that's a really, really nice example of somebody that is, say, that risk when you're sort of forced to try things. And I mean, I'm guilty of that, putting off doing videos because it's all thing, it's got to be done in a certain way, but you're forced to do something. Well, let's just see what happens and where does it go? And actually, say, dipping your toe in or being pushed in completely to just see how it goes as sort of positives that come out of that. And also with the work you do, as a sort of coach and working with businesses that want to grow, it is difficult. We all struggle with when you're running around busy lives, to have maybe somebody to come from an outside perspective to look at your business, look at the opportunities, as you mentioned there. It has been quite a nice time to sort of reflect and say, let's take stock of where we've got to and where do we go after this and continue, once as things change. People keep saying the new normal, whatever that will be, but I think it's just opened up people's minds a little bit, I think, like you were saying then.
I think so, yeah. I'm particularly thinking about exit strategy. You might have developed a business thinking, well, I'll do this till I'm 60 or something like that, or I'm going to be, but actually sometimes people thinking, actually what I like to do is run this alongside something else, and I'll sell this to someone else, or I'll seek investment and so on. Your views of what's a good exit will change massively from your current experiences. So yeah, no, I think that's good. There's a strong thing about thinking about one's purpose at this point, and if you can combine those things you really enjoy with things that you're good at and things that you can get paid for, that really is that's a central plank you should be aiming for, and that's what real purpose is about. And it's not just businesses who should be thinking about that, and directors and owners, but actually employees. And there's lots of people who've been in lockdown who actually are now fretting about going back to work because they realize actually they're not fulfilling their purpose. And as coaches, I think if we can help unlock sensible routes forward for them and help them think more clearly about what success really looks like, then isn't that a gift? It's a wonderful thing. It's like one of your boxes from your networking events. Open it up and something springs out, which is a gift, really.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's that sense of purpose. Speaking to Laura for a recruitment company I spoke to, was that we were talking about, you know, that where people get that time to think, what, you know, life's too short, you know, and what drives me. And the great thing, well, speaking on these videos, lots of the people obviously I've spoken to have been self-employed, and that's what I've loved. I'd be impossible probably to employ now unless I had a real sense of freedom in what I could do, because being able to steer your own ship, being able to do things and try things and go in different directions of the things that drive you. What's been really good is speaking to these people here is people that love what they do, and for them the kind of going to work and the time off is kind of very hazy, you know.
I think some of your skills is incredibly creative and, to coin the phrase, does think out of the box, will be incredibly valued going forward, because there's lots of businesses which were previously physical, required physical space, which will go online, but actually haven't got that differentiation which they previously had from their physical location, etc., etc. And someone like you who comes up with amazing ideas is going to be sought after. So really, Paul, you should be thinking about offering yourself out as a sort of incredibly expensive 2-hour consultancy for a couple of £1,000, and then go to bed for the rest of the day.
Okay. Oh, I like that idea.
Write that one down.
I think, I think, I mean, I have so many ideas, and I'm being honest to you and people watching. Lots of the time, I'm one of these people that comes up with ideas and nothing really happens with it because there's too many things and there's lack of focus and direction on where they could benefit others. And I think this has taught me that there's opportunities there to help other people a lot more, and maybe join up the dots a bit between print or social media or, you know, video. I've always loved, like yourself, running a networking group is connecting with people and building those relationships. And I think showcasing more of that online, that kind of exposes your maybe vulnerability or your, you know, your personal, who you are. That's what people are buying from. I think that's what I'm quite excited about is businesses that are stuck in doing that. And I think this time has taught me that actually some people really struggle with certain things that for me are like easy, you know, they're like waking up in the morning, you know, and likewise there's things that I realized that I'm wasting my time doing because I'm no bloody expert on it, and trying to spin too many plates, and not get and going very slowly forwards when it could be accelerating a lot quicker by getting more people to join our team or collaborate with more people and trust more people, which I have an issue with, because a lot of it for me is control and trust that it goes out in the right way. But actually, I need those people to grow the business. So
well, trust is incredibly important if you're working with, and it's not just trust of your colleagues and your and also clients, but actually it's, you know, the suppliers and those people that you rely on. And, you know, I think it's a huge insight for a lot of people. Actually, you know, they don't need to do their own accounting. They can get the experts to do that. They don't need to be doing their own marketing. They should get the experts to do that. They don't need to be doing, you know, all the other services which they've previously tried to do. Meanwhile, absorbing really important thinking time and space to actually do what they should be doing, which is building a innovative and you know, growing business.
Absolutely. And going back to your purpose, friend of mine, Tamsin Gary, this always sticks with me. So she says like a strength isn't necessarily something you're good at. A strength is something that you're good at, but also you would do for free if you had to, that absolutely lights you up. So I might have a real strength in doing invoicing, but if it doesn't get me excited and infuse me, then it's a negative thing in some ways. Because I'm much better doing the things that I'm good at and I love. And I think I've been thinking about that as well. And you said then about the sense of purpose is, you know,
there's having a point of difference as well. And no matter how well Paul Smith of Word Gets Around does his invoicing, that's not going to make what looks like to the outside world Word Gets Around look better or worse. I suppose if you're awful at invoicing, it might do, but it really won't. The thing that makes it different is the unique twist on events, the way that you actually combined online and traditional marketing routes and all sorts of things, and you'll be able to do really engaging branding and websites and stuff like that. Now that's a real skill that if you link them together, then that's actually not something that most marketeers have got there. And the fact is that the world has changed so much that things, a lot of the more traditional mechanisms for engaging with the marketplace are going to be becoming more popular. I mean, people were going to be looking at one of your magazines and waiting for them to arrive and badgering the postman to say, when's it coming? Because actually we're stuck in our places and actually we take more notice of those sort of things.
I think, and like you said there with your networking group, what I like about all of these, I would say to go to all of them, is that they have got their own flavour. They've all got, which has been my issue about replicating something. If we're to open and franchise it, for instance, it's the formats of these things. They're not, they're not that different to lots of them. There's a chance to introduce yourself. Maybe there's a guest speaker. There's some nice food. But it's bottling that atmosphere, isn't it? It's having that builds up. Isn't for me. It isn't about the host. It's a small part of it. It's about the people that gravitate and create that at the time. So I love it with our networking when the food comes out. Obviously, everyone loves the food, but I love it. I love just sat about watching it happen and think this is something we've started, but it's been owned by the people that feel happy to come to this place, and they're what makes the atmosphere. And I think that's always, I've always really enjoyed that.
Helpful. I mean, I love networking. I've always have done, primarily because my mother used to make me serve sausage rolls at cocktail parties and stuff that she had. So I had to get used to asking, in my case, crusty old generals and so on, they did and stuff like that. So I've always done that. And I've realized, that actually just asking good questions can really help you relax and help the person you're talking to relax. But the thing about networking is it is actually creating an atmosphere that people feel comfortable. And certainly at the 373 group, we do have good speakers. We got coming up on Thursday, we got someone doing the art of storytelling, which is really interesting and it's pertinent for all of us. And then a month after, next month, we got one on someone who was the HR lead and inspiration for Boston Tea Party Cafe Group, and so which got really interesting cultural values and so on, which she's going to talk about. So getting interesting stories is probably something where I've got a skill that I suppose at identifying. And then apart from that, I create a very relaxed atmosphere by having no expectations whatsoever other than that people have a nice time and nice to each other. It's the sort of, just treat people how you want to be treated yourself. I'm thinking about our annual award ceremony, which we've had for the last 4 years, which worked really well as a physical event. And this year, of course, I think we'll have to do a bit of physical and online. So that's going to be quite interesting. But again, I think with a bit of planning, more than I normally do, we'll make it quite interesting, exciting and engaging. And hopefully lots of people will feel recognised in these really, really difficult times. And after all, that's the main aim of it.
No, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, and those awards have always been really good, and a great group of people that that aren't, that I don't normally see, which is great. And I've got to know people down towards you. I can imagine the awards ceremony if you did it on Zoom or something, where you put the nominees up and you've got 4 squares.
Yeah.
And if you lose, you've got to do that thing where you pretend you.
If they don't attend, we could put pictures of Brad Pitt or Sharon Stone or someone else in front of it. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that. That's a really good idea. I'll write that one down. You're worth your money, just like that, Paul. Excellent.
I'll send you the invoice. I love doing invoices.
Oh no.
Well, I'll share the links, Chris, to the event you mentioned. The storytelling. I mean, storytelling has always been important for hundreds of years in terms of, has been passed down for the years, and that's kind of the glue that binds us in terms of people and word getting around. To chuck that in there. So I'll share the link to that. That would be wonderful, and the links to your obviously down at DBEC and the Southwest Growth Service and 373 group. That'd be great. So just to finish, Chris, it's been wonderful chatting about purpose and networking, all things like that. The question that I ask everybody is, if you weren't in coaching, consultancy, all the things that you do, what would you do different, or what were you told you might be when you left school?
When I left school?
Yeah.
When I left school, I think I was looking to become an archaeologist. And I went to university to study archaeology. And I've always loved history and ancient history. And so I think I probably would have liked to have done that more. And I've certainly used the time to read a lot more and do that sort of stuff. But I think what we're finding out now, as we think about COVID, and then we're harking back to the Spanish flu and all those sort of things, and previous and Black Death, etc., is that history does have a lesson for us if we only bothered to listen to it. And as soon as we start thinking we're the great innovators and we're the ones who've got all the answers, we're probably getting a bit ahead of our times and ahead of ourselves. And we probably need to start thinking a bit more deeply rather than assuming we've got all the answers.
Yeah.
But that's probably what I would have done. Maybe what I should have done, actually, Paul.
I can see you like Indiana Jones, the hat on.
Tragically, I love those films, but I don't think that happens much where you're having to run away from it. I know it happened a bit, but not much. Yeah, but no, I think what they're finding actually, and the lovely thing about these hot summers we're having is that we're finding new things all the time because of the field systems are drying out, etc. And so there's lots of new Roman villas and Roman towns which have been found, and Anglo-Saxon settlements, etc. Lots of things going on. So yeah, no, I'd love to get more involved in that. Maybe when I've got a bit more time, I will do.
Brilliant. Oh, it's been lovely to talk to you today. Please send my love to the Lorimer clan.
Will do. Thank you very much, Paul.
Sun keeps shining. I look forward to speaking to you very soon.
Yeah, hopefully seeing each other. All the best, mate. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers, Chris. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.